welcome to the show. This is Soulstar Radio, and we're coming to you live from the Reiki Cottage in Preston, Victoria, Australia. And good morning, afternoon and evening, no matter where you are in the world. I'm joined by the wonderful Helen O'Connor, who's a Reiki master amongst many other things. I know her from way back. She's a wonderful lady, and we're actually in her healing studio here. So I'd like to welcome you to the show, Helen.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
So tell me, we've sort of known each other like way back, but for people who haven't met you, and certainly introducing sort of watchers, viewers, listeners, telepathically listening people, about your sort of journey with Reiki and what Reiki is, but what sort of got you started on the healing journey?
Okay, so in October this year, and I'm very proud of this, it's going to be 30 years since I first learnt Reiki, and my life absolutely hit me on the head. I was teaching at the time. I taught in special ed. I taught kids with special needs, and I was looking for something. I'd done shiatsu, but I knew that there was something more for these hands. I'd been into psychic stuff and crystals, and I was the old hippie, getting into whatnot. But when I did Reiki, it was like, oh my God, this is what I'm here to do. And I resigned from teaching at the end of that year. That's coming up 30 years. And I started this journey. Now, back then, I was living with anxiety. I used alcohol to,
very common amongst
self-medicate.
People.
And Reiki just calmed me. And then I thought, I got a Reiki table and Reiki anyone who would let me Reiki them. And I began this journey. I actually spent 2 years volunteering for a complementary therapies group of people with HIV and AIDS. And that was like an amazing apprenticeship for me. And eventually became a teacher of Reiki. And then 23 years ago, moved to this property, which had a garage in the backyard. And I converted into what's now called the Reiki Cottage. And that's just turned 23 years.
That's beautiful.
So it's been a roller coaster journey, as anyone knows, when you commit to your spiritual journey.
Woohoo! It's getting real.
So panic attacks started. I, had counselling. Reiki helped. I learned tapping. I learned neuro-linguistic programming, and I've had clients over the years. I now see people all over the world for tapping. And people come to this little cottage in Preston for Reiki.
Yeah, beautiful. I remember you also did some quite a lot of Reiki on me at a sort of point there, and I remember my father turning up at the end of the table, and I went, hello. I think he's dead now.
There's been a few spirits in this cottage, I can tell you that now.
I was like, that's how I know my dad's dead. He's just popped up at the end of the table and we're showing us. So what sort of things, what's the most standout experience you've had with Reiki, maybe the most, satisfying, but also the most weird, like two different ones?
All right.
Yeah.
One, when talking about spirit and your father and my father, just after my dad died, I was doing a Reiki here and the music started going on. And I just knew it was him. And I'm like, excuse me, do you mind? I'm doing a Reiki.
With a client?
With a client. I'm getting paid, so stop it. And so he did. And then another time, I thought, all right, I'm open for you to come. And he was a funny guy. He was a really funny guy, my dad. And I said, okay, you can show yourself if you'd like to. So within a minute, this bird came flying at the window, boom at the window, went down, shook himself off, and then just sat on the fence out there and just looked at me. And I just so knew it was him. I've had, doing attunements for people for Reiki, their grandmothers and mothers have come in just like they have done for you. So, that's the weird stuff, I suppose. No, it's not weird. It's not weird. Do it. Satisfying. Oh my God, I'm actually. I love Reikiing pregnant women. And I Reiki'd a birth once.
Wow.
That was pretty amazing. And it was actually a water birth. And she didn't want to be touched at that stage, when you just hate everybody. And so I put my hands in the water. and Reiki the water.
Yeah.
And that birth was just
Easier.
easy, amazing, gorgeous.
I remember once, you know, my poor dear at the time partner, and he was like, he's doing this. He's going, don't worry, it'll be okay. I'm here. And he's actually doing this around my thumb. And the first time, with the first birth, I'm like totally just putting up with that because I've got a lot of other stuff going on. And the birth was like, I don't know, an hour in the hospital. Because, you know, that baby's coming on through. Yeah. It was like a football match. Yeah. Certainly the midwife sort of spoke about football references. But the second time around, it was like, I'm in charge now. And it was a 7-hour birth in the hospital. And they said, the doctor's not here yet. But, you know, they showed me this crow-to-hook thing. And yeah, we're all, and I said, and I crossed my legs and went, you show me the doctor, I'll show you a baby. But no doctor, no baby, so guess what you're doing? And but then he tried this thing, the partner. Don't worry, it'll be okay, rubbing the thumbnail. And I just said, stop that. And then I said, give me your arm. And he couldn't use his arm or lift it for about a month after that. And so he thoroughly participated in the birth experience, but that's not quite Reiki, is it?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Well, both my children's births were Reiki. I had a Reiki person at the birth. So the pregnancies were Reiki, and I was 37 and 40 when I gave birth. Completely natural births, no.
Wow.
You know.
Now that's amazing.
And my husband at the time for the second birth, actually, he did the Reiki, and he felt that baby receive the Reiki just as he was coming out. And it was, pretty, and he was a buffer. And,
nothing quite like a kid with a big head, is there?
Yeah, so gorgeous now. But it was at 40, it was, you know, it was painful, but I know the Reiki helped. And, you know, I didn't need outside help.
So what we might do today is we're going to actually show you some Reiki. Don't worry, be with clothes on, there's no birthing happening. Although it could be a rebirthing. That's possible, but we're going to show you. Helen's going to explain the steps, and I'm going to lie down on this table there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can take us through how it all happens and maybe explain what Reiki is while you're going.
Sure. Yep. Okay. All right. So we'll just get you on the table. So if someone comes in for a Reiki, I'll do their client form, get some history. Hang on, I'm just going to put that towel. Yeah.
Probably should take my hat off. Yeah. Kind of handy. Yep.
All right. Yep. There you go. Cover you up. Yeah, as you say, uncross those legs. She's defensive already.
Oh, I'm always doing that. It's a shield making in me. Oh, I know. Sort of waiting for the next Excalibur.
Make it nice and warm.
Hi, Donna, by the way. Got to say hi, Donna. Yep. And Daryl. And
nice and warm.
Everyone else. Yeah, I'm warm. I'll be fine.
Okay. So Reiki is a Japanese word for spiritual energy. And so when I place my hands on a person's body, their holistic being draws that energy through. So it's spiritual, it's physical, it's emotional, and it's mental. It goes to where it's needed. So it gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. Oh, she's on. She's gone. And so, you know, if you're working on an issue, perhaps, you might get some clarity. If you have a cold, it absolutely accelerates the body's innate ability to heal itself. If you're working on some spiritual stuff, it will help with that. Every Reiki is different.
So when did you start Reiki, and what's your lineage?
I learnt with a beautiful woman whom I still see, called Valerie Ives. Her lineage comes through Phyllis Kuramoto, who's the granddaughter of Takata, Hawaii Takata. So my lineage is Yusui Hayashi, the naval officer, Hawaii Takata, who died in 1980 and who attuned 22 masters. Phyllis, her granddaughter. Marta Getty is a woman who lives in America, still alive. Valerie was one of two people who came to Australia. There was Beth Gray from America and Marta, and Valerie was one of those early Reiki teachers. And Valerie's now about 85. Still see her, we still catch up. Gorgeous woman. She certainly doesn't look 85. And then I also, with the complementary therapies group, I worked with Denise Crundle, and I've worked with lots of people. I'm a member of the Australian Reiki Connection, so I've had colleagues and other teachers that, in fellowship and
That's a really well-connected group around the world, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. There are lots of variations of Reiki. There's lots of offshoots and whatever.
That's just really rebranding and repackaging. Or?
It is, well, yes, no.
Isn't it?
With the advent of the internet, people went back to Japan and learned the sort of the true history of Usui. So I've also been trained in Japanese techniques. And so when I teach Reiki now, I brought it right back to its basics, which is having the 4 attunements over a weekend, hands-on healing, some meditation, the precepts, which are just for today. I let go of worry and anger. I'm humble and compassionate. I do my spiritual work and I show gratitude for everything. So we live by those principles. And what's the other thing? Oh, the symbols and mantras that you learn later on. Yeah. I tend to, if some Reiki people give messages, I tend to not do that. I prefer that people just go within and find their own messages.
I found it weird. A lady started, I actually booked a Reiki with a lady once, and she says, "Oh my God, I don't normally get this stuff, but for some reason with you, I'm going to just tell you these messages," and you're like,
No.
And suddenly she was psychic. And I thought, is it catching? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is distracting.
Yeah, not how I operate. So I've thought about that a lot, and the intention for people who come here is that I'm not the guru. Make me the guru. I'll knock myself off as quickly as you can say, Jack Rabbit.
and that old word of, gee, you are you.
Yeah.
So you're moving the hands there, like when you're moving the hands across the body. What are the reasons for those points for people who don't know? There are hand positions that we use. Some people scan the body and go to where they think it's needed. I actually just do the hand positions. And no, I totally trust that the Reiki is going to go to where it's needed. Yeah. So really, I could hold your big toe for an hour and you get the Reiki. That could be interesting.
It would, what's your big toe like?
Not so good. I've been running too much. I'm in trouble with my diapers.
Would you like your feet to be?
Have
a little bit of Reiki. Can we get the camera on there?
Yes, we are.
Right,
there we are.
Let's do some tootsies.
This is quick.
Actually, I'll do your knees. Yeah, and your feet at the same time. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whoa, hello.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So do you find that when you're working on the feet, that brings people back into the body, or do you find that if they need to go off somewhere that they still go off? Or?
I tend to do the feet last to bring them back, to ground them. Yeah. So.
And people who think way too much like me sort of have to start up here somewhere.
Oh, I usually do start on the head, but for the purposes of today, we're just doing a little bit. And so it takes an hour. So I usually spend 5 minutes on 12 positions on the body. So a few places on the head, the heart, the stomach, the hips, knees, ankles, and the feet.
And also, do you find that, like we've heard of distant Reiki and distant healing?
Yep.
How do we operate that for someone?
Well, if someone would like to receive, and I like to call it distance and absent Reiki.
Yeah.
So an absent Reiki for me, in my world, is when I sit down and send a Reiki to somebody across the world or in hospital or something. A distance Reiki is when I send Reiki back in time or forward in future. So because Reiki transcends all time and space, we can sit down on a Sunday and send Reiki to the dental appointment on Thursday.
Yep.
And it will kick in at that time.
You can also send Reiki to your boss's chair. Now that could be fun.
To your boss's what?
Boss's chair?
Yes.
Yeah, because if they're rather grumpy and, I'm sort of feeling like if they're feeling the lump, Is that something that you found people have done that has helped them? Or?
Absolutely. I used to teach in a school for kids in a juvenile detention centre.
Oh, yeah.
So I had 12 kids locked up in a room, and if I went in the morning, this is just when I first learnt Reiki, because I did resign after that, and I would throw the symbols up into the corners.
Yeah.
So I'd come in and the boys would be high as kites, just,
From the energy.
from the energy.
Not actually from drugs.
No. Although, a funny thing, I used to Reiki them a little bit, just a bit on their shoulders, and one kid said, "Oh, do what you do that thing you do, miss, better than 2 bongs."
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So,
It's like getting on our
yeah,
life.
it is. It's a natural high. So, that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I found once that I was doing healing to myself in all space and time.
Yes.
And I was flung back to a situation that happened when I was 3.5.
Yes.
But the funny thing was that when I was 3.5, I saw the older me come into that situation. So that sort of...
That's quite well. For you, anything's possible.
God, yeah.
So, but it is true. You can go back and go back to those times when the rotten times in your past, and Reiki those, and let go, and heal that stuff.
Yeah. So it helps with that sort of calming. And Reiki, that can work, I find, with space clearing as well.
Yeah.
Like, how do you,
you can
recommend people do that?
Well, the way I teach it is I grab a piece of incense, and I walk through my house and do the symbols. Like I Reiki the cottage before anyone comes. Like today, before you arrived, the cottage, I have a way of cleansing the cottage with the symbols. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We might sit up again.
Yeah.
And here we go. So that was fantastic. I sort of went zipping off pretty well straight away. So it's sort of the thing you'll find, and the reason why we did that so you could see it is those who are very sensitive would go, whoa, feeling that energy. So even if you're sort of new to Reiki, it's a transmission of the energy. You're bringing the universal energy down and through you, but it's through that attunement that gets done. So whereas with spiritual healing per se itself, there's no actual attunement. So this is where that's different. So what's the story of Mikao Yusui in a sort of a shortened version?
Okay, he was born in 1865. He was a businessman. He had 2 kids. He was married. He was into learning and psychic stuff. He was into psychic stuff. He decided in about 1920 or something to go and sit on the top of Mount Kurama outside of Kyoto, in Tokyo, for 21 days. And he said, I'll either be enlightened or I'll die.
Yep.
So off he went. He fasted for 21 days, and he said a great light upon him. And he was given the gift of Reiki. We say it was rediscovered because this has been going on forever. This hands-on healing, I suppose. And he spent 4 years, and then he died of a stroke at 62.
Wow.
Yeah.
But his sort of work was done, I guess.
His work was done, yeah. And it was passed on through a few different people. There's a Japanese link and there's the Western link. So
did he ever work with the Tibetan symbols?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, because you got people using the Japanese symbols and you got people using these other symbols.
I don't know whether they've been brought. Look, I can't say, but that's where the different strains of Reiki have come in. People meditate and get stuff or think they get stuff or, I tend to just...
I had a dream.
So there's all sorts of different stories. It's the nature of groups, isn't it?
It is. I think it's always better to go back to that original, and that's where with the Australian Reiki Connection, they're sort of saying, all right, well, you just need to teach the actual thing.
Just
and then anything you're doing
original.
different, back to the original, anything else you're doing, call it something else.
Absolutely.
And do that as the something else, but then if it's Reiki, it's Reiki.
And say it's something, if you just be very clear. If you want to bring crystals into it, then say so. But when you come here, you just have Reiki.
I like the purity of that. It's a lot quieter.
It is.
And focused. Because when we sort of do too many things at once and go, woo, it's all a big one thing, and I'm just adding this and adding that and adding that, and I know what I mind, it's all just, no.
We do after a Reiki often we will pick a card. I've got some cards over there. But I always say it's not Reiki, but we're just having some fun.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, pick another one.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I like that. So well, let's have a look at the cards. We might do a card for all the viewers.
Oh, all right.
We'll pick a card for today for the viewers.
Let's see what.
She's got some good decks there.
I have some Crystal Oracle. I love Tony Salerno.
Yeah.
So I have Magdalene, Crystal Oracle, or the Love cards.
What do you reckon we'll go for the crystals? I think we'll go for the crystals, yeah. I think that'll speak the quickest to everyone. So this is from the Crystal Oracle.
Crystal Oracle. Tony Salerno is a guy who does beautiful artwork. He's a Reiki person in Melbourne. He's been around for a while, probably as long as I have.
I think he's been around as long as most of us have.
Yeah, so you can just have a little shuffle and choose one of those.
All right, folks out
I'll read it for you, for all of us.
For today. Healing for everyone watching in our times. Oh, there we go. As you're right.
As you're right. Okay. As you're right.
And it's interesting because it's got gold with quartz on the left-hand side, amethyst on the right, rose quartz at the very end, and the very start of the deck, of course, is aquamarine, my favourite stone.
Really?
But it's azurite we've got here today for everyone out there watching.
So the words are self-confidence, creativity, and expanding awareness. Believe in yourself, for you have the ability to materialise your dreams. Throughout the coming months, you will begin to expand your horizons and explore new possibilities for your life. You will realise that all you need in order to manifest your dreams is self-confidence. Believe in yourself and do not let anything stand in your way. Even if you are rejected, do not give up. For even rejection can serve to strengthen your resolve and character, provided you're ready for it. Expect it and see it as something you can learn from. Success is guaranteed provided you remain focused and confident. See every experience as a learning experience.
I rather like that one because we've literally just had that wonderful Cancer Capricorn eclipse and we're going through all these planets in retrograde, and so it's like very poignant. Plus, of course, Mercury.
Oh, yes.
So it's all about, hang on, try not to take things personally, but do actually deal with the issue. So spiritual bypassing, avoid that part. I'm liking the themes in there. It's been wonderful talking and catching up with you again.
Yeah, thank you.
And sharing the space with you.
Great fun.
Yeah, and if you want
fun.
to find Helen, you can go onto the Soul Star Radio Facebook page on A1R Radio, and there's actually a link to our website. Meanwhile, there's going to be more shows this evening, afternoon and morning on A1R Radio and Moonstruck TV. It's going to be a lot of fun for you. There'll be live calls for readings. Today's been an educational show for us. In the meantime, I'm going to wish you the best. I'm going to be up at Deniliquin, so Denny Spiritual and Psychic Expo this weekend, and I look forward to catching up with people there. And in the meantime, going to catch up with the rest of you next week. Lots of love and light and happy times. Bye.